We generated around 560 plus million impressions organically. Those
creating property cards for the first time for people owning houses in the rural areas.
We have a patent on a bits technology, which...
But we were really guided by what we wanted it to be.
In terms of the content consumption pattern has changed.
Very competitive, very crowded.
The objective is basically to democratize cancer care.
I see a very bright future for retail industry.
Technology now allows us to scale up.
We also want to help patients become more compliant.
If I look at the custom solutions market, it's almost about $1,500 billion.
Your customers will not continue to be with you if you don't change gear.
We had adopted digitalization much earlier.
Within a very short span of time, we are the number one operator in the whole of South India.
If you are reaching out to a lakh people today, you would be reaching out to an entire globe tomorrow.
We got those two brands and then immediately got into a few of the LFRs, and there was no looking back.
Hello and good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 30th episode of Ascent Talks. My name is Ajit Panikar, and I'm an Ascent member for over 10 years, and I lead Nova, an air conditioning company, and Pure Blue, a tech-enabled startup offering air conditioning services across the country. And my co-host, as usual, is Aleem. How are you doing, Aleem?
Fantastic, Ajit. Good morning and good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely, bright day. My name is Aleem Merchant, and I run a company called Synapse, an advertising and marketing company. And today we're welcoming you to Ascent Talks. And what is Ascent Talks and what is Ascent? Let Ajit explain that to you.
All right. For all our viewers who are joining us for the first time, Ascent is a not-for-profit expression of Harsh Mariwala, Chairman, Marico Limited, and his passion to identify high-potential growth stage entrepreneurs and enable them to grow their enterprise and enrich their entrepreneurial journey. Launched in 2012, Ascent today empowers more than 850 entrepreneurs across India. Ascent is designed as a unique, powerful peer-to-peer platform that leverages the power of the collective through a self-facilitated groups called trust groups, which enables entrepreneurs to share and exchange experiences, ideas, insights, and create a healthy ecosystem to learn from each other. Today's event, which is a weekly event, Ascent Talks, showcases Ascent members and their interesting entrepreneurial journeys. So, Aleem, let's welcome our guest today.
Absolutely. Welcoming Khamir. Khamir is an engineer and an MBA in marketing, and he started off with a sales role at the bank, and he realized it was just not cut out for him. So he decided to venture out on his own. He loved marketing, he loved writing, and he wanted to make a career out of these. So he founded LexiConn. He got his first client in 2009 and became an entrepreneur by chance. LexiConn is not a content marketing agency. They're a content development agency. They specialize in content for banking and finance. They work with brands like HDFC Bank, Edelweiss, now Nuvama, Bajaj Finserv, ICICI Lombard, Max Life, SBI Life, Worldline, Z5, TCS, and Godrej Housing Finance, to name few. Some of their well-known international brands are like Berkshire Hathaway, Micron, Glance, InMobi, Shopify, etc. Today, they have 85 full-time team members across the country. They have a side hustle called Upscribe, which is an ed-tech startup where they are building micro-learning solutions for corporates. And that's a lot of new words that I'm learning today. So, Khamir, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Aleem. Hi, Ajit.
Fantastic. Khamir, why don't you just start off by explaining us what is LexiConn, basically key USP? Why do you say you're not a content marketing agency? Why do you say you're a content development agency? And maybe we'll later in the show talk about Upscribe also.
Yeah, this is specially given to you because we read your bio and we were like how Aleem said, no, so many new words. So please explain to us in simple terms. What is it, man?
Sure. So, LexiConn, as you read out, is my brainchild. Back when I was working with a bank, I figured that, there were a lot of selling going on, right? Because banks need to go out and sell. There's a lot of push on the sales. I realized that there was very little of knowledge sharing or enablement that was happening, And that's where I felt that, when I used to go out on sales calls, I felt that, I'm not really comparing, I'm not really contrasting with other products, I'm just pushing things. Why can't we have a more of a educative approach, where customers can buy from us rather than us selling, right? So that was the brainchild. Back then I took it to whoever was the relevant people in the marketing, and I tried to get some traction, but things didn't work out, and hence I dropped out and I started LexiConn. This was back in 2009, of course, and the idea was to not do copywriting, do content writing, and simply put, copywriting is when you're like selling something, so thanda matlab Coca-Cola is copywriting, but writing a long essay about, the benefits of a particular drink, and making that appeal to a informed reader, comparing, contrasting with other possible drinks and so on, and leaving that long lasting impression that a person has not made a decision in the spur of the moment because of nice advertising, but because of a decision that they actually thought was what they wanted to actually get into. So that's where the whole idea of LexiConn came in, and content writing or content marketing. At that time, we were a content marketing company. So just to explain a little about that, very simply put, again, content marketing is when you use content to sell something. Okay. So it could be an idea, it could be getting more traffic to your website because you want to sell something. It could be talking good things, maybe through a blog, through a website, or through whatever. But your idea is that I want to sell something else. As in, I want to sell a loan, I want to sell a bank account, I want to sell an air conditioner, I want to sell something, and hence I'm creating content. That's content marketing for you, and that's what most people think content is about. What we are doing is content development. Now, how is this different? We are doing content development, which means the content itself is the product. Simply put, a textbook, a school textbook or a college textbook itself is the product, right? An OTT show itself is the product. So even that requires content.
Nice.
Right? So some of these examples that you read out, a bank, for example, a bank has a platform like an app, or it has WhatsApp banking. The WhatsApp banking actually is a part of the product itself. So, for example, you mentioned HDFC. When you bank with HDFC on a WhatsApp, right, you send a hi to the bot, and the bot greets you, and it tells you, "Hey, how can I help you?" So all those dialogues that you hear the bot speaking is what we write. We are not selling the bank account, but you want to probably say open a fixed deposit. I'll ask you, "Hi, Alim, what is your account number?" And okay, I know your number, I know your phone number. Now, here are the accounts. Which one are you talking about? And then there are 4 types of FDs, and so on and so forth. So our content helps the product get better, rather than trying to sell the product itself.
So Khamir, this is more like a user experience, right? I mean, you work in so many domains, and it's user experience. Now, tell me something. You're just such a people-driven business, and with so much of information and human resource knowledge that is required. What are the kind of opportunities that are there in this industry here? Because you've actually scaled up from a one-man to a very large multi-city and probably international company today. And so, and it's always thought that this is a gig economy. And what are the kind of opportunities that hold in this industry? Yeah?
So absolutely, back then in 2009, when I started this, my dad was like, "Ye kya kar raha hai? You have a bank, you have a stable job. What is this content and you?" So I said, "No, Dad, I can write." He's like, "You can write? Okay, fine, you can write, but who's going to pay you for writing? I mean, you can write, wo to academically ho gaya, but get a proper job. If you don't like the bank job, I can understand, but get a proper job. You have an MBA, this and that." I said, "Give me 3 months. Let me figure this out. I think there is a gap in the market." He said, "Okay, but and back then I was ready to take like a 90% pay cut to become a writer, but no one would hire me. And so Dad was like, "I don't understand what is this." In fact, I want to share with you that the initial few checks that came in to me, my dad was really like, "Kaun paisa de raha hai isko? Kis cheez ka paisa hai?" This is like a 40,000, 1 lakh rupee check. And back then the whole internet scam thing was just new. So my dadi was like, "Hey, pura din laptop pe baithta hai aur paisa aa raha hai." And my my dad had this
Beta bigad
retail
gaya,
shop.
beta bigad gaya.
Beta bigad gaya. Yeah. I mean, we've always been
Khamir
my
cracked the
family
code to meet the Nigerian prince. He finally met that Nigerian prince who was transferring money.
So we are traders. My family was traders, so they know कि कुछ बाहर जाता है तो पैसा आता है, पर ये तो घर पे बैठा है. So I am fighting this mindset since when I started. So yes, there is this whole idea that it's a gig economy, or it's like a part-time thing till you get a real job. Of course, there are all those misfits that we pick up, and we cherry pick them. So our people are all over the place. They are engineers who are very creative but didn't really fit in. They are MBAs, there are chartered accountant dropouts. There are all kinds of people. There are cricket umpires, insurance salesmen, ex-bankers, you name it. I mean, this is one of the reasons why we thought of starting Upscribe, to offer this a mainstream feature to content as a career. Nobody really teaches you. There is no course, there's no program, at least a real authentic one that trains you in content writing. Everybody joins and then learns on the job. That's how I did that as well. So it's definitely something that we are trying to change in our way by making content mainstream.
Fabulous. I'll tell you a very funny story of content and copywriting. Okay, so back then, I mean, I'm sure even I'm into advertising. So we put up an ad for a copywriter, and a school teacher walked into our office for the job, and we're like, maybe we can try her out. So we asked her, do you know what copywriting is? She's like, my students do it all the time. So I was like, oh, okay, really? She's like, yeah, copy and write. I write on the board, they copy, and I write after. So that's a genuine story. It really happened in my life. But coming to you, Khamir, what are the challenges you face? I mean, this is so new. I mean, one is explaining people what is content development.
Yeah.
What are the different challenges you face in your business?
Honestly, our biggest enabler is also our biggest challenge, which is the internet. What happens is, because of this whole mindset that it's a part-time thing and anybody who has a few free hours can do it. There are a lot of people who just jump into it, and the major gap is the lack of the subject matter knowledge. And because Google hai, you could just learn everything, and now to ChatGPT hai, so you can just figure everything out. So right from a pin to a plane to a nuclear reactor, you ask people to write 500 word keyword articles, and they will just jump into it. There are platforms like those gig economy platforms where there are projects which say that I need 500 articles of 500 words each, and they sometimes don't even mention the name of the subject on which the articles are to be written. So it's become that generic, and all of that content is not being created. It's just being repackaged, repurposed, and so on. So the lack of the depth in the content and the relevance, when I'm say talking to an HDFC bank, like I said, they tell me that I've got 4 types of fixed deposits, and these are the different target audience for which I'm market these fixed deposits. Now a writer really needs to understand what is a fixed deposit, who goes for it, and out of these segments that the customer is talking about, what kind of USP will appeal to which kind of user. Right, but that understanding is completely lacking because one, they've probably never learned commerce. Forget about being a banker or having work closely in a bank. So when you ask them to sell these things, they really don't understand what exactly is to be sold, and what is the USP, why is, and this becomes even more difficult when I'm talk about a B2B scenario. So that is I think in my experience been the biggest challenge, the lack of subject matter understanding. And that is also something that got me going very early, and my early successes when I used to do most of the writing and editing myself. This was the reason why we really succeeded, because I really knew a lot of these subjects because of my experience or because of my education, and that really helped. I could really get the pulse of the STNP, segmentation, targeting, positioning. I used to really get those things really well, and I was able to create content which was really meaningful. That is really lacking, and we try to do it at scale. Things often break down.
But Khamir, you just mentioned right now also about ChatGPT, and
Yeah.
it's the age of the AI, right? Everyone's just
Yeah.
talking about it, and
Yeah,
while
yeah,
AI has been
yeah.
around, ChatGPT and OpenAI has just taken it to the whole
Absolutely.
new level. Like it's taken
Absolutely,
on.
yeah,
Everybody talks about AI.
yeah,
Here's a big question here for a business
yeah,
like yours, which is content
yeah.
driven, all right, and you're creating content. Is AI actually going to be an enabler for you, or is it going to disrupt
Yeah.
your business? What's your take on this?
So I've been getting
And
this
I'm saying this
question.
specifically because I'm saying this specifically because you went and you've done a course on AI, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
So
So,
tell
so
us how do you
I
look at it now?
when I first heard about AI, and generative AI, I thought this is it. So, I was like, I told my wife, CV किधर है अपना निकालो, अभी time हो गया. This is it. तो start करते हैं. But then I said, अच्छा ठीक है, बैंक में पैसा है, let's try and hire somebody. Let's become a tech company. क्या है, देखते हैं ना क्या है. So, okay, let's make a job description. But what do you put in the job description? You have no idea what technology, platform, what you will look for. So I said, okay, let us take a step back. Let's figure out what all of this is really about. And being an engineer, I thought, "Idhar to kaam aayega engineering. Now, this is the time." I went to this institute, Great Learning, and I did this program. And I realized, that there are areas where this is going to be useful to us rather than detrimental. So there was really no point worrying about it. We had to embrace it. This is I'm talking about pre-COVID. I completed my ARM ML program during COVID. I got a research paper published. I did it well. And I saw it in close quarters. In fact, I've even worked on transformers even before ChatGPT came. I've coded my own bots and stuff like that. So when it comes to ChatGPT, obviously it got mainstream say around November or so last year. Well wishers calling me and like, "चल रहा है अभी तक business चल रहा है क्या? What is it? Is it going on? And what are you doing
But
these
what
days?
chal
That's
raha hai, matlab, what does it mean? They're motivating you or
no,
discouraging you?
they want to know what is it that I'm doing these days. I've been doing this for a decade, more than that. So of course I'm doing that, but they're like, so अभी कैसा चल रहा है? अभी कैसा चल रहा है? अभी आजकल क्या कर रहे हो? That those are well wishers, I would say. So yeah, for us, in fact, on our website back then, while ChatGPT is November, we are using AI or generative AI for almost a year before that. There was this tool called Jasper. So we got a premium version of Jasper, and most of our team members started using Jasper, in and out, not very regularly, but we started using some of its features, and we knew that this is useful. In fact, almost a year ago, we changed the headline of our website. It still reads that this is content. Our headline says, it's drafted by AI and crafted by experts. So we are saying that
That's really
upfront.
nice.
We're saying that upfront at the first draft, all that heavy lifting, that keyword research, this, that, all of that is taken care by the AI, and that's when we get the draft, and that draft is then fixed or that is worked on and delivered by the experts, who are the subject matter experts. So we are very happy. One thing is that at the bottom of the pyramid, there were a lot of content agencies who were, probably, and even freelancers working at like 50 paisa per word, 1 paisa per word, 1 rupee a word. And, we could never really go out and justify to our customers as to what is the difference. We would say what we had to say, but we are probably charging some, 10 rupees a word, and somebody else is charging 50 paisa a word. All of those people are now eliminated. Because that level and that quality of that mass content is now gone. So in that sense, there are fewer players now in the content space, I would say. Plus, my team is really using content and ChatGPT really well. The examples that I gave you, for like UX writing, we actually are auditing some of the banks for their UX. And it's not just the language, it's also the inclusiveness of your UI. For example, if there's a blind user, or if there's a differentially abled person, like somebody with an attention deficit disorder or dyslexia or any other learning disorder, is your content really living up to their expectations also? Is it ticking all of those boxes? We are actually auditing banks. All of their customer facing content is being audited with these perspectives in mind. This is the space where we are working. So ChatGPT is honestly just an enabler. Maybe we want to word a button differently, and we ask ChatGPT for some options for what that error message could be, or what that button could be called, or what would be an interesting notification for that audience. So that's really how we are using ChatGPT.
Yeah, but
It's
that's
really
amazing, Khamir.
fascinating.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're among the first guys who's actually coined a word around it. So I said like drafted by AI and crafted by experts. Too good, man.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is very
Yeah.
catchy, and it's just like embracing AI and taking your
Absolutely.
business to the next level. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Too
yeah,
good.
yeah. We just love it. I'll give you an example. We had a company. They are into packing and moving. Packers and movers. They have a pan India operation. You see a lot of those four-wheeler tempos or chota hathi types. In Mumbai, they run a lot of those. And we were doing this activity for them where they needed 200 articles. And we were like, why do you want to write 200 articles first of all? Who reads so much of content? And they're like, "Nee, nee, our SEO expert has said this, that we want 200 articles." Like, okay, but we are not going to give you so many topics. No, 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 you have to give us the topics also. The keyword is packers and movers in Thane. And my team is supposed to write 10 articles on that keyword alone. Like, I mean, what kind of writing is this, and what will my writers really gain out of this? We said that we are going to use an AI tool to do this. We told them upfront. Either we use an AI tool or we don't do this. We'll make sure that you tick all the plagiarism and all the SEO tick marks. That is taken care by us. But we are not going to do all of this heavy lifting, which is just mindless content creation. So we said, either give us something more meaningful or we don't do this. And they said, okay, use your tools, whatever you want to use, but we just need the content. And we're like, okay, fine. And we went ahead and did this. I wouldn't let my people do this kind of work.
Right.
Yeah.
Khamir, now that you're talking about people, tell us, how do you manage this young generation with so many ambitions and so many different things on their head? I mean, I'm assuming you're having a fairly young team. So how does
Yeah.
this work? I mean, how do you manage them? How do you manage the employable, unemployable, and and the skill set that you require in this generation?
Honestly, Ali, what I have learned in the last 2.5 years, or rather the entire 4 years of my trust group, my Ascent trust group, is that one really needs to look inwards. So your business and your people are really, just a mirror of who you are. If you are insecure, if you are anxious, your team is going to be just that. I actually found a spiritual mentor through one of the senior Ascent members. His mentor and mine are same. When I saw him and I learned about his success story, I really wanted to know the secret behind this. How do you really manage? And I think they have about 4,000 employees. The person I'm talking about. So I was like, I really want to figure out how this happens. And he introduced me to this whole world. I wouldn't call it spirituality. It's more like conscious entrepreneurship. So I got enrolled into this program of conscious entrepreneurship, and I learned to look inwards. And this is about 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. And I at that time was an extreme micromanager and taskmaster. People didn't really stick around very long. We had like a churn cycle of about 3 years. And every 3 years, all our team members would leave, and I would just keep blaming people. And like, yeah, they are not serious or they don't want to grow. वो business को अपना business नहीं समझते हैं, and so on. That's when I figured out that it was really about me, about how I was not conscious about how I was managing these my people. I actually slowed down. I stepped back. I let people manage other people. So I built that organization structure, which we always know we need to do, but somehow we as founders don't really step back enough. Right? And all throughout, I used to crib about how my people are not performing, and my Ascent team would come back every month like, "फिर वही लेके आ गया तू, फिर वही लेके आ गया." Like, what is it? Either you do it well or you don't do it. Don't come and crib every time. Right? And they stood with me all through these years. When I used to come back with newer challenges every time, they put a mirror to my face saying that this is you. 3 months back you were saying this about this person, and now you're saying something else. So slowly and steadily through more of my meditative practices, inward looking approach, that I figured that I needed to step back. And once I did that, I mean we've doubled in the last year in terms of manpower. Yeah.
Khamir, tell us a little about Upscribe. Yeah, that's a very interesting
Yeah.
venture that you started.
Yeah.
And what's Upscribe all about? What's Upscribe going to look like in 10 years?
So, micro learning is the area in which Upscribe is working. Upscribe is, as the name suggests, it's kind of upskilling a scribe. Scribe is something who's a writer, right? So this is short for upskilling a writer. And what we are saying is that in this new age of ChatGPT, it's the subject matter which is the hero, not the writing ability. It does not matter if you don't know good grammar, good English. Language is no longer a barrier. You can actually go mainstream. So, for example, a chartered accountant who wants to create content, he's always in double minds whether I should do it or not. I'm not sure. Is my language and he said, "Chato, theek hai, I could just have a call with somebody," and they were afraid to really go out because they do not want to make a grammatical error, or a language blunder. They know their subject really well. Same with say a cricketer, a footballer, a musician, a chef. They really know their stuff well, but they don't know, for example, how a blog is to be written, or how a social media reel is to be made, or how a meme is to be created. What are the platforms? How does ChatGPT work? All of this is fine. How do I package all of this? How do I distribute all of this, and so on? So we, all of us have that one fine, hobby that we had. Maybe I wanted to become a cricketer, but I did not. But that bit of cricket or that bit of football, that kira is still there in me. I have a passion. I have some kind of an opinion also, but I don't really know how to take it beyond my drawing room or beyond some of the chat groups that I'm in, where I'm ranting about something. So Upscribe is about giving these people the required tools and platforms, with ChatGPT being the enabler. So they will know how to really do all of this, and these are all customized programs. So probably a chartered accountant will not learn how to write a white paper. There's a tech writer will not need to learn how to write memes, or to make reels. So these are all customized courses. They are delivered in a micro learning format, which means that no chapter lasts about 10 minutes, and these can be consumed on the go. There are, with any of your e-learning programs, you have a lot of features. All of those are included in this. So we are starting with finance and a few other as our key, topics, and we're going to really grow from there. Our goal is to go into different languages, Indian languages, vernacular languages, and try and create as much of employment as we can for people through micro learning programs. We've had some early success in Barcelona. We had a client, and for them we did something like this, and it really worked well. So that has given us a spring in our step. We think this is it.
That's great, Khamir. Khamir, I have a 10-second, since we have only 2 minutes to close. So 10 seconds,
Okay.
you tell me your top 3 AI tools.
I would say Jasper, DALI, and ChatGPT.
Okay, fantastic. Khamir, in 1 minute, can you tell us about Ascent? What has it been? What does it mean to you? What have you benefited from it?
Honestly, I run a business with business of delivering words, but I fall short of words when I have to, describe Ascent. I can go on talking about Ascent. It's friends, it's family, it's mentors. It's people who are so close to me. I really cannot do without meeting them. I have not missed a single session since Ascent began. That is, in 4.5 years, I have not been absent a single day. In fact, I love my group so much that they call me the owner. And Ajit, you might remember, I was the first facilitator. So I set up a few of the processes, and they still call me the owner because I really love the place. I love the whole trust group system.
So Aleem, I've had the privilege of initiating October Sky.
Yes.
Yeah, and they came up with the name October Sky because it's a story of a movie of an
Yeah.
entrepreneurship. And I think Khamir and his team actually all had a good contribution to that.
Right.
I love
And we met in October.
I love initiating groups when they do the naming of the group. I think it really is a great exercise.
It's amazing. It's just too good. It brings out the best out of the whole thing. Awesome, Khamir. Khamir, we're just down to our 30 minutes, but it's been fantastic listening to you, man. It's fabulous.
Thank you.
It's a whole new space that you've got into, and I'm sure the viewers will love the whole exposure that they have got, from their traditional businesses and how you've broken away from them and you've actually built a completely whole new business. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for sharing all that information.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Khamir.
All right.
Oh man, too good. Fantastic. So you finally understood, right, what he's doing? Because
so.
you asked the right question at the end of the day. At the end of it, you asked him 3 tools de de yaar, because the entrepreneurial thing came in. Abhi jate jate mere ko kuch leke jana hai. I want those 3 AI tools. All right, guys. So we are towards the end of the show. We're 30 minutes down into the show. So if you like the show, please do share it with other entrepreneurs. Follow us on those various social media channels that we come every Friday at 11 o'clock with a new entrepreneur's story. And if you are a growth-ready entrepreneur and you think, it's 30 episodes, now you kind of got a feel of what kind of people come here, who are the kind of members who are there on Ascent. And if you think you want to be part of this cohort, get to ascentfoundation.in, put in an application, and the Ascent team will get in touch with you. And if you're truly growth-ready, we'll be happy to have you as part of our cohort. So thank you very much. And we're going to see you next Friday at 11 a.m. again with another interesting Ascent members entrepreneurial journey. Thank you very much, guys.
Have a great weekend ahead, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye. See you.